Thank you so much, Margaret. That was fantastic. And now we get to the really fun part of the program where our student winners come down and they read an excerpt from their essay to give you just a taste of what they were talking about. We have a wide range of topics and a wide range of issues, but very, very strong essays all. I'm going to start with the grade 3 through 5 group, and I'm going to ask Katie Lee Chalanpan to come down first.
As a foreign correspondent, I would like to tell you about the struggles with the Tanzanian water source. Women and children often spend over 2 hours carrying water from place to place. These people are just like you, only much poorer and are doing lots of work. If I went to Tanzania to research their water problem, I would go to a village and interview people to see their perspective of the idea. They work every day to get water to cook and to wash clothes. I challenge everyone else to think about others sometimes, and I want to find a better way so everyone can get a good source of water. So let's think about Tanzania, or maybe even the world. Thank you.
The tension between Nigerians, the northern Christians, and the southern Muslims is an issue that should be written about because it can lead to a major rift between the two largest religions in the world. I chose this issue because I believe that killing people over religion does not solve anything or help anyone. Before traveling for this assignment, I would research Nigeria's history and culture. When I got to Nigeria, I would ask the Christian citizens how they feel about this tension. I would also ask the Muslim citizens how they feel about their religion being corrupted by extremists. I would ask them about their experiences and stories. After all, it's their country and we should hear about it in their own words. People are dying too fast. We have to stop this cycle for a better world, for our own good, and for our brothers and sisters.
If I were a foreign news correspondent, I would go to Jakarta. Over 41% of Jakarta's population does not have a clean, reliable, or close water source. Most families have to walk several miles to reach their water source, and even when they get there, it may still be dirty, contaminated, or unsafe. Women and girls collect most of the water for their families, and it takes up a lot of their time. For example, many girls have had to drop out of school to collect water for their families. Having clean water is a very big deal. Many people in Jakarta are dying, so it is our job to find out what we can do to help. As a foreign news correspondent, I would go to Jakarta to inform the world about the water crisis that is happening.
Imagine not being able to vote for your leader and just having Congress say, here, we think these candidates are worthy of controlling the country. Pick from these people 3 people who you may or may not like. If I was a foreign news correspondent, I would like to be assigned to Hong Kong to report on the pro-democracy protests. I chose this location because my mother grew up there, and it is a major part of my heritage and ancestry. I would speak to pro-democracy protesters, anti-democracy supporters, in addition to Hong Kong and Chinese residents affected by this disagreement. If possible, I would also interview Chief Executive Wong Chun-Ming, one of the conflict's central figures. Because of his role in this issue, it would be fundamental to have his insight. I am an Asian American child who is brought up learning that it is important to stand up for issues you believe are unjust. I also think it is vital because it is an issue that should be addressed more directly.
Recently, tragedy struck in a small school just outside of London. 3 hard-working students chose to leave their families behind and go join the ISIS terrorist group in Syria. They have not been the first to do so either. Approximately 3,000 other Westerners have also left their homes behind, and the big question everyone is asking is, why? If I were a foreign news correspondent, I would like to be stationed in London to try to figure out how, and more importantly, why, these young girls left the country and their loving families without even saying goodbye. There are so many possible influences that could have affected their decision, from their peers to social media to possibly even their families, and I would like to be the one to get to the bottom of this. What I wonder is why other countries like the USA are not stepping in to stop this terrorist group, because ISIS is not just affecting Syria anymore, it's affecting countries all over the world. Every day we wait to make a change. Do you want to be the one to sit back and watch, or do you want to step up and help people all over the world?
If I were a foreign news correspondent, I would cover ISIS's destruction of archaeological sites in Iraq because I care about history. I am compassionate to this injustice, and I want to learn more about the details of this topic. The Islamic State militant group attacked the ancient archaeological site of Nimrud and damaged it with heavy vehicles. The artifacts destroyed by ISIS dated back to ancient Mesopotamia and were priceless. The world should care about this devastating loss because the artifacts are important to civilization in the modern day. I feel compassion for this story and the people involved, including archaeologists who spent years uncovering this site. Being a Native American, loss of history is something all too familiar to me. I would like to learn more about the actions taken to right this wrongdoing.
As I step out of the airport in Mumbai, I am hit by the frenzied chatter of more people that I am used to seeing in a single day, the distinctive sense of what can only be described as India. As I look at this world through the eyes of those who live there, it becomes clear to me that regardless of my faith, I would be exposed to a part of the Hindu religion in a way I would never be exposed to the Christianity of my country back home. As my mind continues to make its own flight from Mumbai to Seattle and back to Mumbai, it becomes clear to me that this dichotomy between the two cities was more than just a commentary on the differences between the religious understandings of each of its inhabitants. The realization revealed something very powerful about what it takes to understand and interact with the people around us in a meaningful way. We must learn to read the prologues of the stories of each other's lives, especially in stories as complex and personal as religion. We must learn to see where these people have come from. The past few decades of gruesome global conflicts fueled by raging religious fires have prompted us to shy away from having honest, complex, and sometimes difficult discussions about the role of religion in our world. But such proceedings only serve as a testament to the fact that religion remains such a vital construct of our personal identities and interactions with each other, that we must understand the nuances of this subject through the stories that are held within the cities and cultures beyond our own. These discussions cannot be forgone, and I feel compelled to reignite them by opening the door to the bustling and vibrant corner of the world that has taught me this reality.
From an early age, I developed a unique taste for chocolate, unlike the ordinary sugar-crazed child begging their parent for a chocolate bar to satisfy their sweet tooth. I treated chocolate as one of life's simple pleasures and grew to educate myself on everything there was to know about chocolate. I've tasted chocolate from around the world and have found that some of the best and worst chocolate is made from the cocoa beans grown in the farming sectors of Côte d'Ivoire. I learned that over 40% of the world's total production of chocolate comes from the cocoa grown in Côte d'Ivoire. However, I also learned that Côte d'Ivoire is home to over 200,000 child laborers. There's been a lot of discussion about potential solutions to end child labor, and many people who are active consumers of chocolate have decided that boycotting chocolate is an easy way to promote slave-free chocolate in their communities. If I were a foreign news correspondent, I would cover the story of children living and working on the cocoa farms of Côte d'Ivoire and how our feeble attempts to boycott slave chocolate work against our intentions and could actually be harmful, not helpful to child laborers. I've made it my business not only as a chocolate consumer, but as a girl who is looking to make a positive change in the world, to report on this issue. However, some ask, why should we worry ourselves with an issue that exists thousands of miles away? However, although we cannot physically see what is happening in Côte d'Ivoire and many other places around the world, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist and that we do not play a part in the issue. I do believe that the more people we are able to educate about this issue, the closer we progress to make a real difference in this world.
Great. Thanks very much. And let's give a round to everyone.